Welcome back, lovely people. Now we are on route 4 of the wellness tree, and route 4 is called trust and test. Trust and test. This is about action, momentum, and flow. And we've already touched on some of this, but I just think so much of this journey is about repeating. Our subconscious loves repetition. Okay, this is how we learn, how we rewire repeating things. And what you'll find is with the tree is the roots and the branches, they all work together, they all flow into each other. So it really doesn't matter. Now, why have I called this trust and test? This is why. It can feel really hard to trust the journey sometimes. People say, trust the process, trust the journey. But when we're creating change, and especially when it's a big life change, we're completely up leveling, we're morphing into this new identity, we're releasing these habits that don't serve. It can feel very hard sometimes to trust in the journey, trust in the process, and trust in ourselves. And we find ourselves thinking, can I really do this? Like, I remember thinking this at the start of my journey, like, can I really live without alcohol? Can I really get a grip on my binge eating? Can I really stop spending money like when I just really want to feel better and soothe and I don't want to sit with discomfort? I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I just want to feel good all the time. And so it takes quite a lot of digging deep. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It's perfectly possible. We can do and be anything. So, something actually a previous coach said to me was instead of trusting, we can test. And test means we're coming out of our heads and we're getting into action. So, we are doing our healthy habits, our routines, the things in our wellness plan that we are committed to doing. We're just showing up, we're just doing the damn things anyway. Because what happens is when we take action, mood follows. And you'll have noticed this if you've ever procrastinated over something. I don't know, like, for example, doing the accounts in your business, just as an example. It's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. This is something I say all the time, and I'm really working on this. I'll do it tomorrow. Because if I do the damn thing, even though I don't feel like it, I immediately feel good because I'm doing it. I'm like, you look at me. Then I've done it. I feel like I've accomplished something. And then what happens is our brains will start looking for something else that we can do. And it feels so good to accomplish things, to tick things off, to get things done. The trick is to stay consistent with this and also to be in flow, to be in balance. So remembering it's not supposed to be doing all the time. We need to balance this with resting, with being, because being is productive as well. And very often, when we're being, there's things that we can't see happening, healing, things happening in our body, in our energetic field that we're just not aware of. But it's all helping in our soul journey. So we are putting our plan into action here in route 4, if not before. And we can have the most beautiful, gorgeous wellness plan. We can know exactly what we want to create and show up. And then we can just forget about it and we can think, oh, I'll start Monday. I'll wait. I'll start when I feel like it. And the thing never gets done. Or we dip our toe in we don't make it a habit. We don't make it an ingrained, this is just what we do now. A really great book that I would love to recommend to you is Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Such a brilliant, brilliant book. But having your plan, putting it into action, keep it small, keep it simple. Just maybe start with one thing and then add another thing. Maybe it's like, well, I'm just going to drink more water. And then it's like, oh, I'm just going to, make some swaps in my snacks or my meals. I'm just going to, follow a diet that feels good. And I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm talking about a way of eating for you that just feels really good, really giving, really nutritious, real soul food. And remember, what we intake isn't just actual food. It's like the things we listen to, the things we put into our mind, the things we watch. So this is also a huge journey of the senses. This is the 80%. So not the 20% mindset, but what are we doing? What are we taking in with our senses? And we really want to build a relationship with our senses of being out in nature and just experiencing the present moment and looking around us at the beauty and what lessons nature wants us to see. Like listening to the birds and what are the birds doing, and looking at the leaves blowing in the wind and watching the little insects, the bees going around the flowers. Watching your dog, if you have a dog or a cat or a pet or a horse, like watching how they play. Everything, like I have a 14-month-old Labrador, and everything's a game, everything's fun, and he's so loving and he's just so loyal. And it's just watching these things in our day, taking the time, slowing down. And this really feeds into our plan. It's not just about, well, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do all these things. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself as well. Really look at what you're committing to. Is it really something you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Get to the why on everything. Trace the why. And is it a soul-led thing? Is it leading you in the direction that you want to be going in? So wanting to bring in consistency, accountability, I mentioned already as well, working with the masculine and the feminine energies, and we all have these within us. So balancing the doing, the masculine energy, with the being, feminine energy, the being, the receiving, the nurturing. So we have that gorgeous masculine container. So the structure of the tree is like this. It's very rooted, it's holding us, it's the masculine part of us. And as men and as women, we have both energies within. And so it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman watching this, we all have these two energies. And so this gorgeous masculine structure of the tree is allowing us to tap into our feminine energy with our habits and our routines and our rituals, to be creative and to just feed this part of us and our soul. And it just feels so good. So we can really grow into our richness and our expansion and the wealth. Juicy roots planted in really rich soil is going to create that gorgeous, healthy fruit. So we're also deepening here into our plan, because we're going to be creating rhythm, routine, rewiring, and we're going to notice things coming up, challenges. maybe some problems, maybe some emotions that we need to work through. So we want to know how to allow these things, how to, I have all the processes and ways of working with these inside Soul Well. So you're completely supported if you want to do deeper work on this. And we're tweaking, we're like really being that observer again, going back to root 2 and just like checking in with ourselves. I love doing a self inventory like once a month. What's working, what's not, what needs to go, what needs to come in. I think also working with the moon is just so beautiful for this. And so that really is route 4. It's trusting in ourselves, but ultimately testing, getting into action, doing our plan, working it, staying consistent with it, doing it, showing up, being committed, being devoted, building that self-discipline, and pairing it, like working together with nurture. So it's the dance between the self-discipline and the nurture. So we're holding ourselves through this beautiful process. See you in the next video for our last route for route 5. See you then.